Hello YouTube, Jace here from the Lantern Side Story, and this video is about Kingdom Death Monster, or show this video to your friends to make them play it with you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that alarm button. So, Kingdom Death Monster. I first heard of this game quite a long time ago when it was on Kickstarter. I was always quite interested in the miniature games like Warhammer or Infinity, but back then I couldn't really afford any of them, and I still can't. When it was first introduced in Korea, which is where I live, Kingdom Death Monster was only known for its pin-up models. They have very sexual, mature characters, which cannot be used in the real game, but back then I didn't know about it, and I thought, it's not really my cup of tea, cause I'm more into the monster rather than humans, so I just forgot about it. But recently, I became more determined to really buy the miniature games, and while I was actually buying the miniatures from the Infinity, I saw some of the posts talking about the Kingdom Death Monster, and I was like, alright, let's have a look. So I read some blog posts of the playthrough and watched some YouTube videos, and oh boy, I just fall in love with it. And here I am making videos about Kingdom Death Monster. So Kingdom Death Monster is a 19-pound of board game slash miniature game. It is a game where you control the survivors to build your settlement while hunting the monsters for the resource and occasionally fight the bosses known as the Nemesis monster. Your goal is to survive 30 turns or lengthen years against those monsters. When I introduce Kingdom Death Monster to my friends, I often compare them to XCOM, the Darkest Dungeon, Dark Souls series, and the Monster Hunter series. The XCOM and the Darkest Dungeon is very similar to Kingdom Death Monster in terms of gameplay mechanism. There are two separate parts in these games. One is to build your main base, and the other is to fight the enemies with the characters, and potentially lose them. The base management is quite close to XCOM. You have to learn innovations, which is similar to technology research, make armor and weapons, construct facilities, and do them over and over again. The showdown, or the battle part, is much more like the Darkest Dungeon. When you go out to fight the monsters, you pick 4 survivors, and you have to manage both your physical health and mentality, and more than often, you will get severely wounded or traumatized to return home worn and weary. And between the settlement phase and the showdown phase, there is a hunt phase, which is a bit unique to the Kingdom Death Monster. During the hunt phase, you will have to track the monster while going through random events with both positive and negative outcomes. So you want to know how it's like? Well, in my first hunt phase in my very first campaign, one survivor ended up dying straight up, leaving the other 3 in the mercy of the White Lion. At least one of us had a great day, but that's life, right? The overall concept and atmosphere is similar to Dark Souls and the Darkest Dungeon. Very dark and ominous. Story and lore is fragmented, so you have to figure your theory based on the glimpse of lores from different monsters and story events. And the difficulty, well, it's just as difficult and punishing as those games. The hunting of monster is similar to the Monster Hunter series, except you are very weaker than the hunters. So when you attack the monster, you have to draw a hit location card to see where the hit lands. And if you crit on the wound roll, you might break the part of the body or maybe slice something off. And after the battle, you salvage the monsters to return home and make weapons and armor from those resources just like you did in the Monster Hunter. So I guess now you kinda see the picture, eh? So, should you buy it? Well, I can't just go out and say buy it, for it's a $400 for the core game and $60 to $150 per expansions. And you can buy all 12 current expansions in only $777. And I'm not sponsored, by the way. It is a heavy investment, and even if you're dividing it with your friends, it can be played optimally up to 4 people, still it's a lot of money. And that is pretty much the reason why I made this video, to let you know about the game before buying it. So let's talk about its setting and design, because I do believe that it is the strongest appeal that the game has. Kingdom Death is a realm of darkness, where there is no light other than a few lanterns, and the floor of the world is the infinite waves of stone faces. You wake up in the darkness with a lantern on your hand, don't know anything about this world, or even don't know how to speak, and the huge white lion suddenly attacks you and the other survivors. With anger and desperation, you pick up a fractured stone face off the ground and decided to fight it. After the fight, you and some other survivors gather around a big pile of lantern, the lantern horde, and realize that you have to hunt the monsters to survive. And so the game begins. While building your settlement, you'll be hunting a lot of monsters with cool or grotesque design, and some of the monsters from the expansions might have a mature content in terms of their design, but generally they are very cool and grotesque. So if that's your thing, do join in. One thing you should know is that this game is very, very difficult. Plus, it's a bit heavy on its RNG, the randomness. Some events can just kill you if you roll 1 or 2 on 10-sided dice. It can be very punishing if you don't know what to expect from the monster. And honey, even if you know the deal, these monsters do have some tricks to punish you. And even the best plans can turn ugly if the dice rolls 1. If you like the challenge and can enjoy the whims of RNG God, this is the game for you. But even if you don't like the hard difficulty part, there are some ways, like expansions or the easier variants, to make the game more forgiving and maybe more enjoyable to you. Another thing to consider is that this game takes a long time to finish. In my experience, it takes about 1 or 2 hours per lantern year, and that means you have to play 30 to 60 hours to beat the game, if you successfully do it in your first attempt. Also, you won't be able to finish it in a single session, so you might have to meet regularly through multiple sessions, and I know that for some people this can be very challenging. One way to solve this problem is to play solo, and that's what I'm doing right now. But it can also mean that the game is cost efficient in terms of playtime. Even if you play 30 hours and beat the game, it's like $13 per hour, and I think that's quite a good deal. However, beating this game once does not end the life of this game, because it has a great replayability! There are several reasons why you can play it multiple times. First, Monster's AI cards, which is how they behave and attack, is built from the combination of larger decks, so every time you face the same monster, it won't be the same as before. The general idea of the monster can be the same, but it might bring totally different tool that you've missed in previous campaign. There are some variants to the game to spice things up. There are hero mode, death mode, fast mode, and some other thematic variants to spice the game. Also, there are expansions. There are 12 expansions that can be added to the core campaign, bringing new monsters, events, and items, and 2 of them actually let you play a totally different campaign. Also, a new wave of expansions will be coming out in the future, and I'll be honest, I am excited to play them. So, how do you like it? Please share your thoughts about Kingdom Death Monster on the comment section. How'd you learn about it? What is the best thing you like? Well, to be honest, I am also new to this game. I played a couple of sessions on my own and playing 2 separate sessions with my friends, and I actually haven't beat the game. So, as a fellow survivor struggling to beat the game, I wanted to share my experience and my passion on this channel. Before finishing up, let me share the plans I have for this channel, for this is the first video on the channel. I'm planning to make videos on every 2 to 4 weeks. And if I can make a living off my channel, that will greatly help me make the video more regularly. So first, I'll be making a story-driven playthrough with the pictures just like this video, featuring my solo campaign with the Twilight Knight and Training variant. I am also thinking of making a tutorial video of me playing first 2 or 3 years of the game to help you understand the game mechanism. And I should tell you, the tutorial or the prologue of Kingdom Death Monster is amazing in terms of learning the game. You'll also see me just talking about myself time to time or play other games. So I hope you stick around and enjoy the channel. If you press that like button, or even better, subscribe, I'll be so grateful. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.